Good afternoon and welcome back. Welcome back. I see Steve Beasley has appeared. Where have you been, Steve? Been working hard? Hello, Blondie. I see some names from this morning and I see brand new names. Hit the sub button. Everybody getting their reminders okay? In the last show for Kylie Rodney this morning, if you were here this morning, thank you, and welcome back. I saw some people saying like 30 minutes before the show. Some people are like, I get the reminder during the show. Some people said like 30 seconds before. I don't know. I can't make sense of it. Two Boston moms. She made 2 shows in one day. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Thank you. So this is a new case. Devin Clark, 18 years old. Lyric Woods, 14 years old. Efland, North Carolina. Murdered, my friends. Aaron says, I know nothing of this case. We're going to learn together. And as always, when it's a new case, it's confusing and a lot of misinformation. Yesterday, a lot of people were running with the suspect was in custody. I myself said it because, well, I believe everything I hear on the internet, right? Not in custody, still on the loose, at large. Somebody knows where this person is. Someone has got to know where this 17-year-old person is. They have to. So we have Lyric reported missing on Saturday, according to ABC 11 out of North Carolina. Devin reported missing on Sunday. Shortly after Devin is reported missing, they're treated as 2 separate missing persons cases, from what I'm gathering. Both found by some people on ATVs in Orange County. We have a special guest today, Chicken Lady from Armchair Detective. I actually was on that panel a few weeks ago. It was a lot of fun. See several people in here too that are from the area. I have pinned the link. You know that when I get into a case, I always want to talk to people who know something about the area. We learn more. I'm talking, I want to know about the food, the whole 9 yards. Anyone can look at a map, but you don't know unless you're there. Let's give a warm Crime Lines and Lies welcome to Chicken Lady. How are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm good. How about you?
Good. So what's the local word? I'm sure you on your news feed and stuff like that, you get things that pop up that I wouldn't.
Right. Well, I mean, so far, I think people are wondering why they haven't caught the suspect yet. He is still a minor, so there's only so many places he should be able to be. So there's a lot of worry about, just him not being captured yet. However, I do believe that the police are on it. So I imagine that that's going to be coming soon. It is a very interesting case just because, well, it's interesting to me just because of the area, first off. And I did live on Buckhorn Road for many years of my life. And sorry if you hear a kitty, I have a neurotic kitty. But my son's.
I do too. Mine kept me up almost all night. You know how cats like to rub heads?
Oh, yeah.
He was like head butting me to the point my forehead felt a little sore this morning. I'm probably being dramatic. So I told myself today that my cat's not going to sleep a wink. Well, in Discord, I put a picture of my cat curled up in my bed, so comfy that I couldn't even make my bed.
Yes, I have that problem too sometimes. But yeah, so I did, as I was saying, I did live on Buckhorn Road for many years, and my son's grandmother actually still lives on Buckhorn Road, and I've been familiar with that area since about 1999. So
now explain Buckhorn Road. Is that in proximity of the trail where Devin and Lyric were found?
Yes, it's so the trail is almost at an intersection with another road. I think it's Mount Willing, if I'm correct, where they found the body. So it's actually on Buckhorn Road. I'm not sure what address they would give for that exact spot, but yeah, that's where they were found.
Okay, and then it came out today. Let me see. The North Carolina beat. The mother of 18-year-old Devin Clark, who went missing on Friday with 14-year-old Lyric Woods, said her son's body was found on the property of the girl's family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
I believe
they own the property, but I mean,
mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean that they just have a backyard or an acre. They could own hundreds
Right.
of acres of land. What do we
Exactly.
know about
Mm-hmm.
that?
Well, out in that area, that's sort of, even though there's a lot of urban areas around it, that's actually a very rural area. So people would have a big parcel of land there. Um, that's just how rural people are. You know, you buy a house, you buy lots of land with it. So,
Oh, sure. I'm all too familiar. I'm all too
mm,
familiar. Like nobody here, like in Oklahoma, it's, it's not, I'm going to mow the yard real quick. It's a weekend
no,
job.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes some time, it
Hmm.
takes time. Okay. So I have a map up. Let me see.
Okay.
Oh, it's spotted at Missy's Grill. Is Missy's Grill good?
Uh, I've actually never. I know it. It was a different name when I lived there, but I've never eaten there. It's connected to a gas station though.
So it's off I-70.
I-40. Well, 70. I think they connect right through there.
Okay. So that's what we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I see 70, I-40. That goes all the way across America.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what's the nearest big town? Big city, metropolitan.
The nearest big city I would say is Chapel Hill. So that it's maybe like it actually would connect to part of Eflin, but I would say that Hillsborough is sort of in between Chapel Hill and Eflin.
Okay. Because I'm just wondering, this 17-year-old on the loose, I'm going to guess isn't around the Efland area because everybody's very hot and bothered about the double murder in
Right.
the town.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about North Carolina also, this is almost in the center of North Carolina. So if this suspect decided to flee, he could go to the mountains of North Carolina, which would be, 5 hours one direction, and the coast of North Carolina would be 5 hours the other direction. So
I've heard some names thrown around, but these people are accounted for.
right.
They're using their social media. Have you
Mm-hmm.
heard anything? And 17 doesn't matter to me because I have a feeling
Right.
they're going to charge him with him or her as an adult anyway.
Right. I agree.
What is the law according to that? Because I heard that even though he's 17, he or she, we don't know if it was a girl or boy that did this horrific crime. Even if the 18th birthday is next week, it starts in juvenile court.
Right.
Then they get it up to adult court if they deem fit. So what exactly are the laws in North Carolina? Because it's like this in every state. They never can figure out what they're going to do until it
Right.
comes time.
Well, I actually did look into it a little bit because of this case, and starting in 2019, they did pass a rule that most 16 or 17-year-olds, when they're charged with a crime of this magnitude, they will likely be charged as an adult, but a judge will rule on that once he is in custody, I assume. A judge still has to rule on it.
Yeah, they had that big problem with that in the Lily Peters case in Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. But of course, different story when it's a 14-year-old. That's little gray.
Yeah.
This I think it won't take hardly any time to get it bumped up to adult court. But I mean, I've been wrong before. The question is, What's the beef with the 17-year-old against Devin and Lyric?
Mm-hmm.
She was seen out at 3 in the morning, driving around, not her driving. I don't know
Right.
if that's even a credible rumor anymore at this point. Someone heard a round of shots. We're going to go through some news clips today to try to get caught up. Pat, I'm going to go through a recap. We're going to go through some news clips. We're going to do replay queen, Pat. Don't worry.
Now, I have heard that the person who picked her up, and I don't know if this is rumor, I read it though, that the person who picked Devin and Lyric up is also the person who is the suspect. So the driver. That's I read that somewhere, and I thought it was a news outlet, but even news outlets can be wrong.
Every damn day. Welcome to my world. All right, let's go through. I'm going to take down the map. I can put it back up if we need to get an idea. Subscribe to Crime. What a cool name. Welcome to the channel. She said, this is my backyard. We got a lot of North Carolinians in here. Welcome, welcome. Let's go through. I'm going to go back a couple of days, and then the latest update was an hour ago. So we will get caught up with the latest update. Like I said, just came out in the last hour. Hang on. We're going to learn together, everyone. And thank goodness we have Chicken Lady and a lot of other locals in here to tell us what's what. Because we actually have the 911 call.
Oh, we do? Okay.
We have the 911 call, everybody.
And is this from Lyric's parents?
No, they have not released the calls, the calls, calls of missing. We don't have those, but we have the call from when
they found
Devin and Lyric. And that's another thing. Okay. Devin's mother said, yes, they're friends. From what I'm understanding from Lyric's side, her friends and family never heard of him, which is not surprising. You know, teenagers keep a lot of secrets from their parents.
But usually not from friends.
Friends, yeah, exactly. And also, of course, the age difference, 14 to 18. He was very, very involved in football. So I'm just wondering if mom said, oh, yeah, he knew her, not realizing, you know, just with the shock and everything. I don't know. I don't know how they know each other. We're going to find out, though. Don't worry. If you hear an echo, yell at me, okay, Chicken Lady?
All right, I will.
Breaking news out of Orange County and a homicide investigation involving 2 teens whose bodies were found over the weekend. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Angela Taylor.
And I'm Rod Carter. The sheriff's office is seeking a juvenile petition for a 17-year-old they believe is responsible for the murders of 14-year-old Lyric Woods and 18-year-old Devin Clark.
CBS 17's Haley Fixler has been following this case and joins us live off Buckhorn Road in Mebane, where those bodies were found. Haley, what do we know at this point?
Well, we know that they are looking for a 17-year-old right now. We don't know the name. We don't know where that 17-year-old is. Now, I spent the afternoon at the Orange County Courthouse looking through the new arrest warrants, trying to find anyone who had recently been taken into custody. And now it appears that the sheriff's office is looking for that 17-year-old and no arrests have been made. Now, the Orange County Sheriff says they are going to be working with local, state, and federal authorities to get the suspect into the court system. Now, because this is a 17-year-old, things do have to be handled differently. As of 2019, any 16 or 17-year-old who commits crimes in the state are not automatically charged as adults. The petition investigators filed this afternoon is for 2 counts of first-degree murder. We spoke with family and friends earlier this morning as they stopped by the growing memorial to grieve and cry as they waited for answers.
I hope it helps. I hope they found who done it, but it's not gonna bring them back. But at least it'll stop. You know, maybe it'll stop the wondering and all of that. It's crazy.
Now, deputies are working with the Alamance County Sheriff's Office, the Burlington Police Department, the FBI, and State Highway Patrol to try and get the 17-year-old back here in Orange County. Live in Mebane, Haley Fixler, CBS 17 News.
All right, Haley, thank you.
Okay, so that was as of Tuesday. Obviously, today's Thursday, so I'm going back in time and then catching us up to an hour ago. Jimmy Hoffa, where have you been? We've had a lot of shows going on and haven't seen you, Jimmy. So still, where could this seven? I mean, I understand 17. 17 was 17 when I was 17. 17 to 17 now. Somebody's in charge of that 17-year-old. Somebody's got to feed and water and pay a damn cell phone bill on that 17-year-old. Somebody knows where that 17-year-old is.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the super sticker, Pat. Thank you. Thank you. I see we have new members too. Thank you.
One thing I wanted to point out is, they said Mebane in the news report, and I will say that even I'm guilty of calling that area Mebane. It is, the mailing address is Eflin, though.
It is Eflin, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay,
it's so close to Mebane that people just call it Mebane.
Okay. Well, speaking of, before I get to the next clip, I sent this to your sister. Is there any connection? Court case sent this to me yesterday. Graham Police, and this was in Mebane. This was reporting out of Mebane. How do you say it?
You said it right, Mebane.
Okay. At approximately 11 a.m., officers located the bodies of two 16-year-old males in the wooded area behind the apartment complex, who were apparently victims of gunshot wounds. Graham officers were assisted at the scene by officers from Burlington Police Department, deputies from Alamance, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
County Sheriff's Office.
Alamance. Sorry.
Alamance. Okay.
Yeah.
Agents with North Carolina SBI, Medical Examiner's Office. Of course, the district attorney had to get involved. Investigators ask anyone with information about this incident. Let me go back up. I was in the wrong area. Would have been nice if I started at the beginning of this. All right. Two teenagers have been charged with first-degree murder in connection with a double homicide at the Graham Village Apartments in August. So this was yesterday they charged, according to information provided by the Graham Police Department, a 17-year-old male and a 14-year-old male were arrested on Tuesday and charged with 2 counts of felony first-degree murder. They seem so common. Now, obviously, I'm thinking of it. The police would have thought of it. Did you hear about this? So 2 other teenagers were killed in cold blood.
Right.
By teenagers.
And it's very, very close by. Graham is actually the next city over from Mebane. And any kid who lives in Graham is actually probably going to be going to Eastern Alamance High School, which is the same place Devin Clark went to.
Same school.
It should definitely be, unless for some reason that's the district they should have been going to.
Okay.
Yeah, as soon as Katie did send that to me, and as soon as I saw it, I immediately said, "Is this related?" Because it's so close by, and it's a gunshot, and it's probably the same school. So it's very interesting.
Same school, or at least same school district.
Right.
2 teens killed in cold blood on Sunday. Well, we don't know exactly when they were murdered, found. Same thing happened last month. Just about, 20 minutes west?
Where was that at? I'm not sure if I know about the one last month.
Oh, that's this one.
That's this one. This one was last month. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
the
thought
one
this one was more recent.
Sorry.
Yeah, I thought it was more recent. Yeah, it's very it's very close by, and like you said, I'm sure that even the police are looking at this and going, "Is this related?"
Well, because this was August 25th, So, I mean, less than a month ago, they just made the arrests yesterday. And now we have Devin and Lyric. It's so coincidental.
It is. And, we always say there's no such thing as coincidences. So
this is a big one.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
This is definitely a big one. So I'm sure by now they're looking into that. If it dawned on Court K to send it to me last night, police have already seen it. So, okay.
And they were found in the woods. Just everything about it is so similar. They were found in the woods also, I believe. And, yeah. I'm sure that hopefully they're looking into if there's a connection or not there.
Well, I know they're looking for a 17-year-old person of interest, suspect, whatever you want to call it, for Lyric and Devin. I have a hard time believing there's not somebody else involved. From what I'm understanding, it seems that it appears that they've been moved, that they were moved. We're going to hear about that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. Okay.
Okay, hang on. Kay Cooper, reading our mind. Kay Cooper said SBI definitely has looked into it, and maybe there is a connection to a group of rival teens.
Okay. And absolutely, I would say that area, as far as like Graham and Burlington, I could definitely see gang activity there.
But you mentioned Burlington too, and that's a name as I've been digging around on this case that keeps popping up. What's going on in Burlington?
That's another. I wouldn't call it a big city, but it's definitely a urban area, and I would just say, even like when I was there, that drugs have just really run rampant across the city, like it in so many other areas across the U.S. But that place, it just really seems like Burlington was hit hard by it.
Okay, because that keeps coming up quite a bit. Shay said, I'm really into this case. I am too, because we have way too many oddities at this point. Like I said, this is the first show we're doing about it. I did a preview for members yesterday. I put a news clip out yesterday, and I really thought a lot more would come out yesterday as far as, finding the 17-year-old. Finding his ass or her ass, I figured would happen yesterday.
I did too.
Where the hell could a 17-year-old be?
And as you said, somebody's paying for it. The parents have to know something.
Yep.
Or some adult has to know something, I feel like.
Brittany said, I agree with gang activity in that area. Okay, Tammy says, Burlington, 20 minutes from me. These are the connections. See, Burlington keeps coming up.
Yeah.
Guys, we do have a room in Discord to discuss this case. We also have rooms for food, vacations, sports, what have you. But people are putting a lot of stuff together in that room. It's pretty exciting. I'm like way behind. If I'm out of that room for 5 minutes, I'm behind. Okay, so I'm going to put up the next news clip, and then we'll get to the 911 call. Lisa, yeah, the mom did say she was shocked her son would be involved. I don't know what mother would say. Oh, I saw this coming all along, except for Dawn Wells. She's definitely taken aback. Definitely. And she has the same questions I do. There's got to be someone else involved.
As many gunshots as they're saying was heard that evening. Yeah, it's definitely, I would say that's a definite super overkill, or there was more than one.
That's what I'm saying. When that guy, I put a couple news clips up yesterday. He explained the gunshots he heard, which in a rural area, you're not going to call 911 about hearing a gunshot. Sorry, you're just not. Some people are like, well, why wouldn't you call? Well, because you're in a rural area. You don't know. Could be, it's nothing for someone to shoot 10 times getting rid of a raccoon.
Right.
Okay, there is Lyric and Devin. Ugh.
News right off the top at 5 o'clock. A 17-year-old will soon face 2 first-degree murder charges in the deaths of 2 teenagers, Lyric Woods and Devin.
Okay, I'm stopping it right there. So she said a 17-year-old will soon face double murder charges. They must be pretty damn sure that this 17-year-old did this. I'm going to assume there's no cameras out there.
No.
Is there an eyewitness that we don't know about? I mean, they're saying as soon as they find this 17-year-old, it's hook, line, and sinker.
Right. My opinion is maybe some friends have talked that do know these people. Maybe they knew that there was going to be a third person with them that evening. That's just my opinion. I think that maybe some friends talked, and that's how they come across this 17-year-old.
We have some questions in chat. Lisa said, not that it matters, but were the 2 victims known to be troubled? Not anything that I'm reading. I mean,
No.
nothing was going on at school. So, I mean, is this wrong place? I can't say wrong place, wrong time, because they're out in the middle of nowhere and it's her family's property.
I'm actually leaning towards love triangle at this point.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Clark, the 14-year-old and 18-year-olds were killed over the weekend after their parents reported them missing. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us live from downtown Raleigh. I'm Lauren Johnson.
I'm Dwan Hogart in for Steve Daniels. We have breaking team coverage tonight, beginning with our Elena Athens, who is live outside the Orange County Sheriff's Office following the latest. Elena, catch us up to speed with where we are right now.
Well, right now, authorities are trying to close in on a 17-year-old, make an arrest, and bring that suspect before a judge. The Orange County Sheriff, Charles Blackwood, issuing a statement. It says in part, I want to thank the families of Devin Clark and Lyric Woods for trusting us and the investigative process during this excruciating, painful time. I hope the apprehension of the suspect will bring them some comfort as they mourn their loved ones. The office working with local, state, and federal authorities to catch the teen. The suspect is accused of killing 14-year-old Lyric Woods and 18-year-old Devin Clark. Their bodies were found with gunshot wounds in a field just a couple miles away from Lyric's home. She was reported missing Saturday morning. Devin Clark reported missing on Sunday. The missing.
Okay, so we knew that part. Now, also there's rumors that the sneak out for her was to go to a party.
Oh.
That's just a rumor, though, because we've heard yes and we've heard no. But then she was seen riding around with someone around 3 a.m. Yeah, Shay's saying jealousy. Hen Forster said could be a love triangle. I don't know. Because also it's from also what we're hearing. Again, we're really early in this case, so everything is rumors. There's nothing verified except for what law enforcement has said, that they got moved somehow. That's why I'm saying, I mean, I guess a 17-year-old could do it all by himself, but I don't know. Weirder things have happened in these cases.
Person's report for Lyric indicated she left sometime on Friday night out the back door of her home, and it's believed she got a ride with someone, as a witness reported seeing a car going down a dirt road behind the house around.
Okay, I got to hear that again. Hang on.
Night out the back door of her home, and it's believed she got a ride with someone, as a witness reported seeing a car going down a dirt road behind the house around 3 a.m. Devin Clark and Lyric Woods were sent.
Well, would the party be at 3 a.m.? Did I hear that?
Yeah. I guess maybe they could be coming home from the party at 3 a.m.
Let me slow that down. Sorry, guys. We got to get. Okay.
And it's believed she got a ride with someone, as a witness reported seeing a car going down a dirt road behind the house around 3 a.m. Devin Clark and Lyric.
What house? Her house? Or did they go to this party? Because it's also being vehemently denied there was no party. We've heard that before, though, right?
Right. Woods were said to be friends.
Go ahead, hun.
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, I hadn't heard the party, but it was, Friday evening. So that would be the night that teenagers would go out for a party. So
If it happened,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's the big question. What happened that led to both of them being killed? Condolences keep pouring in for these victims. One person describing Lyric and on social media as a sweet, beautiful girl. Devin's loved ones equally upset and eager for justice. The efforts right now to support both of the families going through this incredibly hard time. We'll have more on that ahead at 6 o'clock. For now, we're live in Orange County. Elena Athens, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, two sets of families, plenty of friends, just trying to figure out exactly what happened. Elena, live again for us tonight. Thank you.
And let's bring in Jamise Price now. And Jamise, you have details on a volleyball game being played in honor of Lyric Woods tonight.
That's right, Lauren. We're here at Jordan High School, and certainly the Cedar Ridge High School volleyball team playing with heavy hearts tonight. Certainly wanting to come away with a win in honor of Lyric Woods. The 14-year-old was an avid volleyball player. She was gearing up to play travel ball. A lot of condolences coming in from volleyball teams, including AIM Volleyball. They're offering their condolences on social media to the families of both victims. The club director telling ABC 11, "We will miss her bright smile and enthusiasm for the game. Our AIM Volleyball family is truly saddened by this tragic situation." Students from the high school telling me their classmates wore white t-shirts with Lyric Woods' name on it in honor of her, to show support for her and her family this week. So definitely a lot of sad teenagers, and schools are offering resources for these students. Grief counselors, student services, all will be available for students this week. But a lot of attention now turning to that suspect who investigators say is responsible. Who is this person and what led up to this point? Lauren?
Yeah, still a lot of unanswered questions for both families. Jamise, thank you. And we're also learning more about tributes to Devin Clark tonight. His mom taking to Facebook Live to say they are planning a memorial on Thursday in Caswell County, as well as a ride along in Mebane on dirt bikes this Saturday, since that was something Devin really enjoyed doing. His mother says they're also trying to decide on a date of the funeral. Once we know more, we will pass that information along to you.
Ridiculous. Okay. Kay Cooper said they probably met at that party, then snuck off to hang out. Now she lived in a rural area too, so somebody had to pick her up. She sneaks out. So that was around, I don't know how, but I heard 11 o'clock. Somebody would have to pick her up, take her to the party. She's seen around 3 a.m. Or was the sneak out at 3 a.m.? We don't know yet.
Now, one thing that Kay Cooper's comment actually reminded me of is when I was a teen and I would sneak out, you don't have somebody pick you up at your house. You go down the road a little ways, so you don't wake up your parents. So I wonder if the spot on her family's property that they were found is the pick up and drop off point for her.
Then it makes you wonder what led to this, because I mean, this is murder by gunshot.
Right.
That's a lot of hate. That's a lot of jealousy.
It is. It's definite overkill.
That's a lot. Yeah, Kay Cooper said walk down the road. Yep, but somebody saw her. Now, I don't know how at 3 a.m. you would know that that's Lyric. It's dark.
I agree with that, yeah.
See, so that's going to be something else. I'm not going to be surprised if it comes out they were mistaken. Rexy said, how many times were they shot? I don't know, but there was one, and he heard gunshots like he said like 15.
Yeah, he said 10 to 15 is somewhere. I've heard 10, I've heard 15, but even if it's 10, that's overkill. And that's also what kind of led me to think maybe it was a love triangle, because we all know overkill is usually because of the intense feelings. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Or I guess it's possible they're a really bad shot. and it took them that many times. But
then I also want to know if it's true that they were moved, because then we're not looking for just the 17-year-old anymore.
right.
Because Devin's mom is all, somebody else is involved in this. And at this point, I believe her if, again, the rumor's true that it looks like they were moved. Let's look at this news clip because it has the 911 call.
Okay.
We held to honor the life of one of two teenagers found murdered along a wooded trail in Orange County. The bodies of 18-year-old Devin Clark and 14-year-old Lyric Woods were found over the weekend. Police have identified a person of interest, but have yet to make an arrest. Elena Athens joins us live now with more on this case. Elena, good afternoon.
Yeah, the sheriff, Barbara, telling me there's no new information to report, but that his office is methodically working towards the arrest of that 17-year-old suspect. We did just get in the 911 call that was placed when the bodies were discovered.
There's a power, there's an access to like where the power company cut a road in. And they're just laying around on the side of the road. There's a power, there's an access to like where the power company cut a road in. And they're just laying around on the side of the road. Okay, when we were on a four-wheeler, and we were actually putting out deer corn, and we discovered them.
So they got dumped basically on a utility road. Am I hearing that right?
Right. That's what. So around here, they'll cut, a little pathway for the utility workers to get in and do whatever maintenance they have. So it's probably just a short road, but yes.
But I mean, obviously, now there was a search, it hadn't been ramped up yet, but there was a pretty intensive search with canines, the whole 9 yards on Saturday for Lyric. If the article on ABC 11 is correct, the ATV guys came across their bodies like an hour after Devin's mom reported him missing. Hang on. Nella Bella said, this is ridiculous with recliner with a shotgun the night my boyfriend visited. Couldn't imagine being out after 11. I'm trying to figure out the 3 a.m. who could witness someone at 3 a.m. driving by. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm not saying that.
I could see somebody seeing her if it was a well-lit area in the actual city part of Mebane. If it's in that specific area, though, where the bodies were found, absolutely, they would not be able to look into a vehicle and tell it's her. It gets dark out there.
Court case said, but the man heard gunshots, so I don't think they were moved. Well, what do you mean you don't think they were moved? If he hears gunshots on a Saturday and they're found on Sunday, that's another day. He didn't report any gunshots. He didn't call the police or anything.
And so, also,
I don't know when. I mean, he heard gunshots on Saturday. They were discovered on Sunday, and they're dumped on a utility road. I don't think he took them to the utility road and did it. It doesn't sound like it, but we'll find out.
Also, one thing that the people who found the body, the four-wheelers, they said they were out there putting out deer corn, and that is exactly why in a rural area you don't call the cops every time you hear gunshots, because that is a very hunted area. People go out there and hunt all the time. So
yeah, gunshots in a rural area don't stun anybody. Someone's always, court case said he lives next to the road. So the guy that heard the shots lives next to the road where they were found. How did he not come across him? From what I'm understanding, these guys, they were almost like in plain sight. Let me listen to that again.
There's a power, there's an access to, like, where the power company cut a road in. And they're just laying around on the side of the road. Came when we were on a four-wheeler, and we were actually putting out deer corn, and we discovered them.
He just said they're laying next to the road. Somebody wasn't
Right.
hiding. Somebody wasn't trying to hide them.
No, and there's so many better places along that road you could hide bodies. That probably makes me sound kind of horrible for even thinking that, but it's just the facts. There's a lot of densely wooded areas along that road.
Yeah, he explained it like it's a route, he said access road, which, I mean, I know what that is. We have those all over here for like utility companies and stuff.
Right.
But we go back to the why. I mean, did something go awry at a party that led to this, and then they get dumped there? Obviously, if there was something at a party, then it went down at the party, and then, I don't think there was anything fun going on the utility road. I don't think the party was on the access road.
No.
I don't think they said, meet me on the access road and we'll duke this out like gentlemen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not. I believe the access road could, like I said, may be a pickup point for her, but yeah, he said right beside the road, so it sounds like they were pretty close. But now I'm wondering if he meant right beside the access road and not the main road.
I got to listen to it again. You guys are going to kill me. And they keep showing this one picture of this road.
There's an access to, like, where the power company cut a road in. And they're just laying around on the side of the road. Came when we were on a four-wheeler, and we were actually putting out deer corn, and we discovered them.
The victims were found with what appear to be gunshot wounds. The slain teens are going to be honored tonight at two separate events. Lyric Woods played volleyball on a travel league and just started ninth grade at Cedar Ridge High School when she was killed. A home volleyball game tonight against Person High will be played in her memory. Around that same time, family and friends of Devin Clark will be gathering in Yanceyville. There will be a vigil. The 18-year-old's mom is asking people to bring candles. A balloon release will follow, and they'll be using his favorite colors, blue and black. The community is offering support to both families right now in another way. Donations flowing in for online fundraisers to pay for funeral expenses. I checked the accounts about an hour ago, the one for Woods exceeding its goal and raising more than $23,000. The fundraiser for Clark doubling its goal and bringing in more than $24,000. We know both families are desperate to learn who is responsible for these murders, and they want justice. The Orange County District Attorney's Office says they do not know yet if they're going to be charging this teen as an adult. They're going to wait until there's an arrest to make that call. We're live in Orange County. Elena Athens, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
I don't see either set of parents taking anything less than charging this 17-year-old as an adult. This always comes up in every case. I have to ask because I don't live there. The death penalty's on the books. Is it used very often in North Carolina? That's just going to be asked. This isn't my question.
It gets used. I'm not exactly sure how often it is used, but I would imagine with the age, part of the him being, or her, whoever the suspect is, being charged as an adult, they may only do life because of his age. I notice that tends to happen a lot with children who are charged as adults.
Yeah. I mean, even in Oklahoma, and they use the death penalty all the time. It's not a rarity at all for them to the name of the street in McAllister that leads up to death row is called Electric Avenue. Okay. Wow. They use it all the time. Even a 17-year-old though, that I don't know that the jury would go for that. So I just wonder. Rock and Robin said first-degree murder is punishable by death in North Carolina. It's pretty much on the books in every state. I just don't know what state uses it and which ones don't. But you're saying that it's used quite a bit. The parents, they're going to have a shit fit if he's not charged, he or she, as an adult when this comes down the pike.
Especially so close to being 18. I can't imagine them not charging this person as an adult.
Right. Well, I mean, only time will tell, but they have to find the 17-year-old.
Yep.
Rexy said, how do they know identity of the suspect? I don't know. I do not know, my friend. Like I said, right now we're fueled off rumors and what little bit law enforcement has put out, and that is that they were definitely murdered. We don't know if they were at this party or not. The 3 a.m., I don't know, but they were definitely found off this utility road. It's absolutely crazy. Hey, Steve, I see you back there. Can you turn your camera off? That way there's just an avatar. Do you know how to do that, Steve? Now it says device is not connected. Try again, Steve. Hello, Duchess. You're welcome. It says device is not connected, Steve. Rexy, every case, yeah.
Now, what do you think the possibility of them monitoring this suspect's parents' activity to try to locate the suspect?
What do you mean? Say that again.
Do you think that the police or the sheriff, whoever it, I'm assuming that the sheriff is the one taking over the case, could they monitor the parents of the suspects' phone activity, for example, or even checking activity to see if they could locate him?
Oh, hell yeah, they can, especially if they have the FBI involved. They don't need a warrant.
Right.
The FBI doesn't. They'll just start pulling it.
And the FBI will be involved
with somebody.
Mm-hmm. I think the FBI will be involved if they don't find him soon. Is that, well, I'm not sure how that works.
The FBI is involved now. I mean,
that's true.
He's got a phone. He's got to be communicating with somebody. I'm just surprised they haven't found him yet. I think they'll monitor anybody that he's in close contact with. Right. Hey, Steve, what you got for us? What do you think?
I really don't know what to think about this one. I was sitting here thinking about some things, trying to debate on whether to come up because, and I've been noticing, first of all, I have a little issue with the age difference of them.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, being rural southern areas, I got a lot of ideas and they're not really tasteful for a lot of people. But, if somebody did see her that late at night in a really dark area, then it possibly was somebody that knew her.
And he just got caught in the crossfire?
Well, I hate to say it because I don't believe in it, but I don't know if it may have played a part of maybe them being together.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no mystery who did it. I mean, we have names bouncing around. They just have to find the person. They just have to find the kid. We're just wondering the why, what led up to this.
That was actually a very early thought of mine, was it possibly being racially motivated. I think that's what you were trying to go for there.
Yeah, and but I'm trying to watch what I say. I don't want to get Brooks in trouble.
That's kind of why I haven't really thrown anything out there yet. I will say that area is the type of area that I could see something like that happening.
Because remember the father and son that shot that young black man, I believe it was in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
They said he was stealing and they're in prison now. And they killed that young man for no reason. I forget his name, but they found him in he was in a house that was being built and they accused him of stealing stuff and they chased him down in a truck and shot him and killed him.
Yeah,
I
that
don't.
was in Georgia. I remember that he was just jogging. And,
Yes, 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 and they did it out of pure evilness.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'm like I said, I hope it's not anything like that. It's bad enough it happened anyway,
Right.
but just for me, I would hope that it is not that.
I agree with you 100%. I now definitely that thought did cross my mind, unfortunately.
Oh, that was disgusting in Georgia. That was just, I mean, it's disgusting all around. All of these cases are. This is a 17-year-old. They know who it is. They've already said, I mean, they've got him, I guess, dead to rights. As soon as they find him, he's going to be charged with 2 counts of murder. Imagine
Well,
charges,
I hope
and
that.
we're just
Go ahead.
wondering what the motivation could be for such a heinous crime to kill these 2 kids. What would be that personal, and then dump them on the side of the road?
Yeah, yeah. And I do also kind of find it a little bit funny, unless it's just the timeline that it happened. I find it a little odd that they dumped them so close to her home.
On
Right.
his family's property. That's
Exactly.
That's, you know, when we were covering the Lily Peters case, we were talking in Discord and we said, considering where Lily was left, is this a kid that did it? Because very close to her home, very close to her aunt's home, and really kind of really out where anybody could find her, and did. I think she was just covered up with some leaves, really. And in this case, just off, and the ATV drivers just came across these 2 kids.
Yeah, and another thing that kind of stuck out to me as well is when you were talking earlier in the beginning of the live, and you know, you had said that it was said that his parents, his family, is saying that they knew each other, but her family's saying they've never heard of him.
And again, we're just a few days into this. So
correct, but
something
that's
could be speaking for them, and we don't know. But I mean,
yeah.
there is definitely an age difference. She's 14, he's 18. Now, of course, they more than likely met through the phone, through social media.
Well, not only that, I'm sure they go to the same school. Maybe they're both into sports. I mean, they could have
Well,
met a million different ways.
they go to different schools, but there's definitely sporting events and so forth that they could have, met each other through. But I also felt like it may have been social media, since her parents and her friends really didn't know him.
Especially if they would find that distasteful.
Mm-hmm.
There would be a reason a 14-year-old girl would not tell her parents that if her parents are in that way of acting.
Right.
Which is sad all by itself.
It is, but it happens.
Yes, it does, unfortunately. But either way, I hope they find him before he does it to somebody else, if that's his thing, or if this was just a one-time deal, or before he gets too far away where we're sitting here waiting and waiting and waiting like we're doing on some of these other cases, which is driving everybody nuts. Mm-hmm. But I hope they find him quick. And
I hope they find him quick too. And kids don't tell their parents everything. So for his mom to say, yeah, that's his friend, he could have a bunch of friends and she just assumes that's his friend. I don't know, because imagine the freight train that has hit Devin's mom. She reports him missing, not even realizing there's already a missing persons report going on for his friend, the person that he was with. Within an hour, these people on ATVs come across his body off an access road, kind of in plain sight. They were driving by. They weren't like hiking through the woods. Think about that.
Yeah, which means this person, 17-year-old that did it, he had no regard for him whatsoever. He had no empathy, no thought. He just had nothing. It was just pure evil. You know, it's like, and you know, it's also, it could be he wanted them to get found. You know, I mean,
That's
the
what
way
I'm
things
too.
the way things are going now, and the heinous and evil things that people are doing, it's almost like, you know, hey, look at me, I did this, but now you got to catch me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He definitely didn't try to cover it up or hide it. Now, of course, we won't know if they found shell casings or anything like that from the gunshots.
Yeah, and where's the weapon? And where's the weapon?
You know,
We're gonna have to find that.
because I'll tell you, I just turned 43, and I've been training with firearms for a long time. Not that I would ever go out and murder anybody, but at 17 years old, if he left shell casings, you can bet your rear end he ain't smart enough to pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
After you shoot 10 to 15 times and you done murdered 2 people, you're going to hightail it out of there.
Mm-mm. Well, it's disgusting. It's sad. 3 kids' lives are over. Over.
Yes, ma'am.
At least
yes,
3.
ma'am.
At least 3, because we don't know if someone else is involved. And, you know, the parents are getting all kinds of online hate. We know that. The perfect parents always come out of the woodwork when these things happen. Mm-hmm. I snuck out of the house when I was a kid, and hell, we had Pella windows. Imagine that. So,
well, see, that's I guess that's the advantage I had, which I was never a troublemaker anyway, but I didn't have to sneak out. You know, once I got old enough, my parents would let me go out. Only thing they asked is, if you're not coming home, give me a call and let me know so I don't leave the door wide open.
Mm-hmm. Well, somebody's covering for this 17-year-old because he's got to be in contact with somebody. They've been looking for him for a couple of days. It's not like they just announced this. I put the news clips out yesterday, so that was Wednesday. This came out Tuesday afternoon, so we're 48 hours in. Someone's hiding him. He can't be left to his own devices. It's not like he's been planning this for a year. This is something that went down on Friday into Saturday.
Yeah, well, but you know, as young people are nowadays, and a lot of them, you know, are into a lot of bad stuff, just like Kylie Rodney when they were handing out drugs to all them underage kids. Mm-hmm. You know, say if this 17-year-old, you know, deals drugs, he could have, you know, enough money in his pocket to sustain for a little while, but he ain't going to sustain forever.
No.
I mean, unless he has a bunch of cash on him. I can't,
you know,
not, even though he's 17, and I'm not down in law enforcement because they obviously they're going to find him. I mean, probably by the time, you know, we end this, they're going to already have him. Who knows?
I hope so.
I do too. I'm just he can't. I'm surprised they haven't put his name and picture out since they've been looking for him for 2 days.
Right.
At one point, the 17 go out the window and say, this is a matter of public safety. This person is dangerous, killed 2 people, and if cornered, if approached, could do it again. They don't want to go to jail. They're hiding.
Exactly.
For 2 days.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I've read already that they're saying a lot of information is likely not to come out of this case because all parties are juveniles. But just like what you just said, I mean, the fact is he's so close to being an adult. At this point, the community is in danger.
He
who knows?
People over the weekend. This is according to them. The sheriff said it himself. If approached, there needs to be on the lookout just for public safety, because you think you're coming across just a 17-year-old that might need help with something. Who knows? And that could be the 17-year-old that killed these 2 kids. You don't know. Dangerous is dangerous. I don't care if he's 17 or not.
Or who's to say he won't be in a grocery store parking lot and offer to help an older lady put her groceries in her car and steal her car?
We don't know. I think somebody's hiding him out. I think somebody's hiding him out.
Then think about this. If you had a 17-year-old who was friends with this person and you didn't know who it was, you might be letting this killer hang out with your child. I mean, it's hopefully the police are monitoring all that, who his friends are and so forth, or her friends. I'm just assuming it's a he at this point because I don't see too many 17-year-old girls handling a gun. But yeah, I'm hoping they'll find him soon. But I do agree at some point we're going to have to know if they don't find him, they're going to have to put out a picture or something, so people know who and what to be looking for.
Or at least, put out a picture. This is who we're looking for. 17 or not, doesn't matter. 17 or not, doesn't matter. I mean, you have two, Lyric and Devin are dead. Somebody's arguing. There's nothing to argue about, guys. What do you mean? He was not in a gang, no matter his race, age, or sex. We don't know if these are two groups of teenagers fighting. Something went down at a party. It's a love triangle. Do you know them personally, Zira? Because there's no reason to argue. If you want to grab the link and come up because you know them and you know something as a fact, then please do. It's pinned.
I apologize if I started something, Brooks.
No, you didn't. We'd already discussed the whole gang thing before. It's all over the internet. People saying that, that it could be gang related. That comes up in every case. It could be a gang. It could be drugs. It comes up in every case. People talk about that possibility.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it's a common thing these days.
So at this point, we don't know.
Yeah.
We know that a 17-year-old needs to be found and held accountable because they seem to be pretty sure that this 17-year-old is going to be charged with double murder.
And, even to, dumb it down. So because he's a juvenile, which to me, 17 now in 2022 is not a juvenile. You'd already pretty much made up your mind how you're going to be in your life, and it'll probably stay with you the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. But maybe they don't need to put it out as a suspect. Maybe they should put it out as a person of interest, someone we need to talk to.
I've heard both. One news station says person of interest, making it sound like they just want to talk to him. Another one, flat out suspect. And when they find this 17-year-old, they're going to be charged with double homicide. Kay Cooper, you don't need to apologize for anything. You don't need to apologize for anything. Not at all. Because we discussed that about the rivalry teenagers that were going back and forth. So, we're going to keep our eyes on it, guys, and I'll update the community tab. We'll do another live as soon as we have an update on this. You guys all going to be back?
Sure, if it's this evening.
I'll keep an eye on it whenever I'm subscribed to you. So
I get notifications for all your lives, Brooke.
Mm-hmm.
You do? See,
yes, ma'am.
They don't. Some people say they don't.
I get them when they're upcoming. I get them 30 minutes before, and I'll get it. Usually, I'll be in the chat waiting, and as the time clicks down, as soon as it gets to the time for the live, it'll ding right there and tell me to watch it now.
Now, sometimes when you hit subscribe, there's options. Sometimes you cannot get notified. You can get notified of everything, or you can only get notified of lives. There's options under what you get notified for. So if you are having a problem getting notifications, make sure that your settings are right.
Zariah, grab the link and come up. If you know them personally, come up and talk, because there's a 17-year-old they're looking for. Was there a party, Zariah? Do you know anything about a party? or who this 17-year-old is. I don't want you to come up and say the 17-year-old's name, because if the sheriff is saying they're not going to put it out, I don't want to put it out. I've already heard some names bouncing around, and it can't be all of them, especially when they're using Instagram right now.
Right.
Grab the link. The link is pinned. And I'm born and raised in Orange County. Okay, we've got a lot of locals in here. Or send me an email.
Yeah, my son graduated from Western Alamance, and he is only a year older, or he's going to be 20 in November. So that's actually one of the first things I did is, do you know these kids? But like a lot of 20-year-olds, he didn't get back to me immediately, so I'd have no idea if he knows them.
Right. He's 20.
Yeah.
He's got other things to do, Mom.
Yeah.
Zariah said, yes, I effing knew them. He is my family, and she was his friend. Well, Zariah, I'm very, very sorry for your loss. I understand you not wanting to grab the link. But as you know, we don't know what you know. And you know the same thing. You know what's been reported. And I'm sure you've seen the Facebook groups and things in comments. People are just trying to make sense of the unthinkable. And you are more than welcome. Zariah, she doesn't need to apologize for the comment, because if she does, the whole internet does, because a lot of people are talking about these teenage rivalries. We're not talking about gangs like you see in the movies, but that there were these teenagers fighting. Okay, Zariah? And you have a totally different last name than Devin. We're very sorry for your loss. And definitely prayers for both families.
Yeah, we're not here to argue.
She's not going to apologize for that comment. We don't know what's going on, and neither do you, Zariah. Neither do you. It hasn't all come out yet. Somebody wants to know what kind of puppy you have, Steve.
That is my beautiful Great Dane. He's a year old. He weighs 130 pounds, and he is a big baby.
Yeah, I've had experience with Great Danes. They're all big babies, aren't they?
Yes, ma'am. He is laying at the baby gate now, looking at me, wanting to come in the kitchen, whining. He wants to know what I'm doing on the phone.
I'll bet. 130 pounds. Geez, Steve, you can about ride that dog.
Yeah, we both can. Funny story about him. I'm not trying to get off topic, but my sister-in-law, my wife's sister, she bred one of her females, and my sister said, I want a male that looks just like his mama. So the agreement was, if you come over and help with the babies, with the puppies and all, you can pick whichever one you want. Well, it was the first time the mama had puppies. So this guy we got, she had him in my wife's lap. She still didn't know what was going on, so she wasn't really doing anything with the puppies. I had to break him out of his sack and do a sternum rub on him to get him to start breathing. And then she started figuring out what to do with him. So that's why we picked him, because we actually hand delivered him.
Whoa. Wow.
So
30 pounds. Wow.
He eats a lot. That's why I work all the time, Brooks.
I know. You got to work to feed the Great Dane.
To feed him. And he's still got another year of growing.
Zariah, if you, I know this was your family. These are your friends. You need to be really careful who you're around and who you're talking to, okay? Because you don't know how connected this 17-year-old is. We don't have all the information yet, okay? I understand you not wanting to grab the link or anything. Nobody was trying to insult you or your friends.
Not at all.
this is a new case, and we are just discussing the possibilities. But I appreciate you coming up, Steve. Next time we're going to have you and the Great Dane on. How about that?
Absolutely.
All right. And Chicken Lady, this has been a great pleasure having you on. I was hoping we would get to do this someday.
Oh, well, thank you. It's been enjoyable. You have such a great chat. So I really enjoyed coming on. And
the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
I say it on every show. If the link is pinned. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. You just have to hit the link.
It took me a minute to figure it out, but it's not really that hard.
The first time I ever went on any panel, I was so nervous. I threw up everywhere.
Oh, come on now. It ain't that bad.
Oh, well, now I pop up and down constantly. So I'm a lot better at it, but
I'll try to get a better picture of my boy here and let you see an up close shot of him on the avatar.
Okay, we'll do that next time. Well, I don't know, Zariah, you just hit the link and then it takes you backstage, and then I put you on panel.
And you don't have to have your camera on, so you don't have to worry about that.
No, there's been a lot of problems with cameras on YouTube the last couple of weeks, but it's mainly another case.
Well, I thank you for that, Brooks, because I didn't even know how to switch it to the avatar, because I try every time I get on and it never lets it. I didn't know I just had to turn the camera off. That's how tech savvy I am.
Yeah. Zariah, send me an email first, because I don't even know how old you are, and it'd be my luck you'd be 13. Trust me, that's how my luck goes. So, guys, I'm going to start shutting this down. When we get an update on this case, I'm going to update in the Crime Lines and Lies Facebook group, on the community tab. Of course, we're talking about this heavily in Discord. And then, of course, we're going to have another live regarding this case. So you guys stay tuned, and thank you for coming up, Steve. Take care.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Chicken Lady. We've been wanting
no problem.
One time. I hate it's never under good circumstances though when we get together.
No, it's not, but it's still very enjoyable being with you. So I mean, you're just you've got such a great personality. You're so great with these cases. So
some days.
I love your channel so much, and thank you for allowing me to come on and talk about it. So
anytime, don't ever be shy. Just grab the link. You know when we're live.
All right. I do. All right. Thank you so much, and thank chat very much. Y'all have been great, and hopefully we'll get some answers soon.
Absolutely, and I'll send you a link to Discord after this if you want to come in and chat.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you.
All right, thanks, hon. Molly J, I see you've been gifting some memberships. Thank you very much for that, you guys. We had a members live yesterday. That was a lot of fun. We're going to have another one coming up. I think I'm going to do it next Tuesday afternoon. I got to check my schedule again. Members lives are always fun. So always check the members tab for when they're coming up. But like I said, it's a new case. Stuff's all over the place. Information flying from all corners. We're going to try to make sense of it as we can, all together, as we always do as adults and with civil conversation. And we keep it as light as possible because we have to. We're talking about the worst of the worst in our society. The worst. These are the most heinous things that can happen. But you guys, thanks for keeping it real. Thanks, Mod Squad. You're always the best. And you guys, hands down, I say it every day. I mean it every day. More and more every day. You're the best chat and the best community on YouTube. I'll see you guys over in Discord in a couple hours. Have a great one. Bye-bye.